Oops.
Vaughn told me last week that I need to start directing races and smoking cigarettes.
I really think that's just what I want to do. And you are already way ahead of me.
I don't mean that in a negative way at all.
I don't
that's
take it as that.
That's mad props.
My problem is
you're wearing it well, my friend.
I could start smoking again, but man, I couldn't grow a beard like that if I wanted to.
I couldn't paste a beard on like that.
Right. No.
Do what, Amanda? It went?
We are live.
Man, that's so
Except
good.
you're not wearing a headset.
Except
No one can hear what you are saying.
I said so much while my headset was off. And
what you
nobody
just
heard
said
it.
was so true, Amanda.
She said all the things.
That was so profound.
saw- all
Wilson has like 180 degrees his look in the last 6 months.
He looks hot.
Like he's like looks like
Ouch! Wait a minute.
like a
Whoa, 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 whoa!
I know where you're going, Thirsty. You don't need to. Just sit over there. Go ahead, Vaughn.
That was your wife that backed up on.
I don't know,
I'm just
but
saying.
I think you look awesome, man. I dig
Thank
the
you, dude.
beard. You're
Thank
looking
you.
like a badass.
Thank you. Thank you. I
So,
appreciate it.
There is
Not
that.
saying you weren't a badass before.
Nah,
Just didn't
man.
look like one.
Well, I mean, pretty soon you'll ditch the Crocs and you'll be wearing
No.
you'll be wearing New Balance, and we'll all be.
I've
jealous
got
of
New Balance with no
everything.
socks on at the moment.
Yeah, look at you, man.
We're working on things.
Got the walking tall hat on, trucker hat,
Yep.
and the beard.
Yep.
Man.
This was gifted to me. I wouldn't be wearing it because I haven't officially finished the race within the 9-hour cutoff. However, it was given to me by my friend Brian Williams, the race director.
Well, they
so
brought us all hats on. the
therefore, I feel
podcast.
like that makes it okay, right?
Yeah.
Is that
Absolutely.
accurate?
Absolutely. Yeah. I came across a picture on Facebook Memories like yesterday where they were on the podcast and brought us those hats.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
We need to get him back on here just to shoot the breeze. All right, let's do this. Welcome to the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast. You can find us at www.liftheavyrunlong.com, on Twitter and Instagram at LiftRunLong. Also, feel free to email me directly at the address wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you are not a member of our Facebook group, you should be because we want you to be there. Search for Lift Heavy Run Long Community and request to join right now. My name is Wilson Horrell. I'm one of your hosts. I'd like to remind you that the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast is not censored, so listen at your own risk. I have sitting to my right my favorite person in the whole entire world wearing a lovely, well-crafted Lift Heavy Run Long sweatshirt that she happened to make by herself because she is the master of so
Yeah.
many talents. You have a lot. You're a very, very talented person. Dr. Amanda Kimsey Horrell, Jackton Tan. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Wonderful. Sitting to her right, we have the Reverend Von
Hi.
Rawls.
Here I am.
Woohoo!
And how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm fantastic.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I
Yeah,
like
we're doing
that.
good.
That's a good.
You,
What is that? Is that a superlative? Is that a adjective?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
All that.
Yeah. It's good stuff. That's what it is.
We have Big Thirsty Brian Swanson.
What up, yo?
Thank y'all for letting me get through that. Now we can have a show.
Well, why
I just
made you
wanna-
bring the intro back?
I just feel
You just-
like that we got to start doing some things right around
It's more
here.
professional that
It
way.
is.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You are younger than me.
I am.
Okay, so I'm not wrong.
I think just a year, right?
Well, it's irrelevant.
It's the beard makes me
Well,
look
you're-
20
you're
years
the one
older.
that brought it up. It's
He
irrelevant.
looks 15 years older than me right now, and he looks amazing and awesome. And
I don't think he looks old at all.
I just want him to say like Confucius say.
I need
like it's like a
That's
spouse of
the
wisdom.
look I'm going for.
I need him to learn how to play the banjo, and we can start a bluegrass band. is what
No,
I
then
want.
then he's gonna have to say, "Boy, you got a pretty mouth."
No, I'm digging it, dude. I'm digging all of it.
I like the race director cigarette.
Vaughn told me when he saw
Now-
my beard 2 episodes ago, he goes, "Dude, You look like you're about ready to start directing races and smoking cigarettes.
What you need to do is every time a guest shows up, they have to bring you a license plate.
You can be on our podcast, but
Just bring
you gotta
something
bring a
random.
license plate and a button-down white cotton shirt.
Yep. So
Yes.
how is everybody? What?
I was just going to say, we're talking about the beard. He does a lot of beard care now. We have a lot of things sitting on the bathroom counter.
Do you
where
do
we,
beard oil?
He is
Beard
that
prep.
guy.
I've got all of it.
Put oil in it and everything?
Sometimes.
Y'all, today, a flat iron came.
and
for the
it's,
beard.
It's rad as hell.
It's a beard flat iron.
Yep.
Is it tiny?
I'm not mad
Is
at
it
it.
like tiny versus the one you put in your hair?
Yeah, it's like just a brush, and the little teeth have little flat iron pieces on it that get hot.
And it works.
Amanda, what you need to understand is he does this for you. You have to be seen with him in public, out in the world, and he wants to be the arm candy that you married. so long
She
ago.
is not only is she a supporter of the beard, she is the one that pushed it. Her and Andy both said you should grow a beard, and I said how long? And they said just continue
Just
to grow.
go.
We'll let you know.
And
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
oddly enough, I would have thought that Amanda would, not enjoy a longer beard, but she does. She likes
It's
it,
softer. It's not so prickly.
and I like it.
And so that's my problem is like I can't do the full facial hair, so I have to keep mine well trimmed, and so mine stays prickly, and so
Yeah.
like Katie complains about
I can't do it
getting
at all.
pricked
It just
while
looks.
she kisses me.
It looks really stupid. Like if I don't shave for like 6 months, I look like a.
Well, this
idiot.
is-
like, I
this
look
is
like
the
a
extent
homeless
of it.
person. That, like,
This is the extent of it.
it's bad. It's really bad.
Like it's
There's
like
a fine line between the
patchier.
homeless look and the bearded.
Now I want to see Vaughn try to grow something out for the next 6 months.
No,
See what
I
it looks
did.
like.
I have pictures.
Oh,
From
I wanna see.
the first. What
We'll
was
do
the
that for our
mud race?
50th. We'll do that for our 50th.
What's the mud
Tough
race?
Mudder?
No, not a Tough Mudder. It was the very first one before that.
Spartan?
No, not a Spartan.
You're talking about like Love Mud here in Memphis or
No,
something?
no. It was in Nashville. Not.
Tough Mudder?
No.
Would you stop?
Man, it was one of these obstacle races.
I know what you're
they
talking
had.
about. I'm trying to
Yeah,
think of it.
But
It was
the very
like a
first,
Tough Mudder.
Yeah, but it was
Or
the
like
very
a
first
Spartan.
one that started. It was called
The Barbarian Challenge?
No.
Oh.
But anyway, I thought it would be cool to
It
grow
was
a
Vaughn's couldn't grow a beard
yeah,
challenge.
I was like,
is what it was called.
This is cool. I'm going to do this mud race, and I'm going
I'm gonna be a man.
to grow a beard and be a man. And I did not look like a man. I looked
Yeah.
like a poor little sad boy trying to grow
You
a
look. You
beard.
looked like your son dressing up as attempting to
Yeah,
look like a man.
It looked like you just take pubic hairs. And paste
Oh,
them on
my
face.
God.
It's not
Oh.
good at all. It's terrible.
Well, Katie Maxwell says she likes the beard.
Thank you, Katie. There you go.
Yep.
She'd be supportive if I could grow one. I'm just not
Warrior
capable.
Dash.
There you go.
Warrior
That's
Dash.
the only one we didn't mention.
Finally came to me.
It was funnier when Wilson just kept repeating the same one over and over again.
Tough Mudder. No, Tough Mudder. No, Tough Mudder.
We had a lot of snow in the Memphis
God,
Mid-South.
we had a
Wait,
shit
whoa,
ton of
whoa, whoa.
snow.
Well, go ahead. Okay. I was thinking
You get two more interruptions, and then you got to go to timeout.
I was thinking you were
That's
skipping
why I
ahead.
built that room in between here.
I was
and there.
thinking you were skipping ahead, but you're not skipping ahead. But
I
go
may
ahead.
be. What do you have?
Skipping ahead.
Go ahead. I want to hear your topic. I like it when other people have topics.
Y'all did a race.
Yeah. I did a race.
That's what I want to talk about.
Yep, Sylamore.
Oh, that's
I
right.
chickened out because I didn't want to drive.
You're not alone,
neither.
and it wasn't the worst idea in the world. The race itself was completely
Right, and I assumed that
Yes.
the race itself would be fine. It
I
was
did
the
too, Brian.
and
It was
from
the to and from. I didn't want to do
that I
it.
was worried about.
I didn't want to die in an icy, swirly crash where we go down some embankment and drown in some river.
So did you go to a cabin? Did you make?
I did. Not to our cabin.
Okay.
They have other cabins. So they have like
Right.
these shotgun cabins. That was actually a really nice
But
gig
we don't usually live that life.
because they have 6 or 7.
We stay in the bougie cabins.
Right. This was different. So
The
there's
kitchen
like
with a microwave.
6 cabins right in a row. But it's nice because you can just break off on your own whenever you want, and it's also spacious enough for all of us to hang out. And it was me and Melissa and Wolf and
GFO?
Dino and the FOs.
And where?
Katie
Okay,
and
so
Gary.
Cat.
where
Kathy
were
and Gary.
these in relation to start of the race?
They were 7 8 miles from the start of the race and over in, what's it, Gunner Springs or
Okay. Oh,
something?
okay.
Blanchard Springs and then Gunner Pool is the 50K turnaround. It's Blanchard Springs is the 25K turnaround.
If you leave when you leave the race and head up that hill,
Up the hill.
if you keep going for 8 miles, they're on your right-hand side.
Okay.
So this was nowhere near our normal cabins.
Nowhere near.
Okay.
And it was easily accessible. These people, these are the best or worst landlords in the world.
Right. I always love that. I mean, they truly are awesome because, like, every year, like, you call them, like, 2 weeks before, and we're like, hey, we need a cabin. They're like, okay, they're yours. Like, we weren't going to rent them anyways. And then, like, 2 weeks after we're gone, they're like, hey, by the way, we need some money. It's like, they're just like, they're so not worried about it. So.
Well, they told us that we were going to have a hard time getting to the cabin. Then she said, but we have these other cabins. They're $125 a night, which is super cheap, especially when you have a big event like this. And she goes, but since you couldn't get into the other cabin, we'll give them to you for $75
Oh, wow.
a night.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's just how they, they've been the same price. The cabins have been the same price, except for they threw on, a $10 cleaning fee?
Like cleaning fee, yeah.
That's divided among 12 people. So, I mean, it's just, we've had the same key lock code for 4 years in a row.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you've been corrected by
We've
Katie.
been corrected. Barkshed is the 50K turnaround. Gunner Pool is the middle aid station. Blanchard Springs is the first
Where are you
aid
getting
station you go
corrected at?
through.
Katie.
K-Max.
Oh, she texted you?
So,
No, it's
it's
on the feed.
on
Well,
chat.
I'm watching the wrong feed then.
Yeah, you probably shared
You're on
the
episode
feed.
190.
So anyway, you leave Allison, you go through Blanchard Springs, and then the 25Kers go out a couple miles and come back through Blanchard Springs. The 50Kers go through Gunner Pool and then turn around at Barkshed.
Okay, I don't care. We were 8 miles from the start of the thing,
Yeah,
and it was
fair
very,
enough.
very convenient. And I was begging Amanda, just go. It's not going to be bad. The roads are fine. I've looked at the highway cameras.
Me too.
Which you can look at the highway cameras, but I don't know where they're located. I'm just looking at random highway cameras around
Excuse me.
Arkansas.
Thanks.
Yeah, bless you. And so the roads look good. I don't know what roads I'm looking at, but some roads on camera look good in Arkansas. And I thought, well, that's good enough. We're fine. And Melissa and I rode down there together, and we hit a spot, and I thought, if I'm sure about one thing of my death, it's going to be with the resounding "I told you so."
Right.
And we got there, and I thought, damn it. Like, this is bad.
I was so back and forth, and we were going to stay with Dawn and Teresa, and they were like, yeah, we're going. No, we're not going. Yeah, we're going. No, we're not going. And then RMAC posted, like, the Arkansas interstate map, and I was like,
Yep.
that's a nope out for me. Like, I'm done. Like, I haven't been training for this race. Like, weather being perfect, I'd go there and I'd suffer for 8+ hours, and I'd do the 25K, and I'd be fine. But, like, no, I don't need to potentially wreck a car, hurt myself to prove a point to do this race. So
I agree.
And there is also I've got to get some closure to this. I'm tired of going back and forth. I'm tired of looking at weather maps. I'm just going to say I'm not going and be done with it. And I was almost there, and then I went the other way of I'm going, and then we'll figure it all
Good
out.
for you.
But I certainly understand just at some point you got to pick a side and go with it.
So moving on, mad props. You wore the shorts.
Yes, sir.
Holy shit, you wore the shorts.
I would have done shorts too. man.
Never
There's
an
way I
issue.
would wear- there's
Never
no
an
way I'm
issue.
wearing-
Not even crossing the river, seriously?
No.
Okay.
The only issue is that the bottom, like right by the bottom, the shorts come to about my kneecaps.
Yeah.
So there's like a 2-inch band that iced on both sides, and so you can hear that ice just going whoosh, 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 whoosh. But I can't feel my legs, so I'm thinking if this ice is rubbing between my thighs on my skin,
It's gonna be bad.
I'm going to be bleeding. This is going to be bad. So I had that concern for a while, but that kind of went away. But I was never one-time cold. I dressed perfectly for it.
So, how did the race go for you?
It was great. It was
time-wise,
great.
like
Slow.
expectations wise.
Slow.
Well, I mean, were you fighting the last cutoff guy and just
No.
saying, I'm getting out of here like you have before?
I was pretty steady the whole way. I was never worried about cutoff. I pretty much knew where I was. Not worried.
That's.
That might be.
I'm sorry to. I don't want this to be like a call out, but like that's awesome for you. Like
Yeah.
you are typically the guy that worries about the cutoff.
Yeah.
That might be
And
the
so
best
for
race
you-
that you've had there.
I was gonna say, like for you to say it's slow, still doesn't mean it wasn't an awesome race for you.
I finished it in under nine hours one time before, which is the official cutoff time, but he always lets me finish either way.
Right.
This was the first and only time that I've run any amount of distance like that where I didn't bonk at any point. I was consistent the whole way through.
That's
My
amazing.
legs were good the whole way through. I was just tired and slow. And I kept thinking about, because I've been keto since right after Christmas, like December 26th. And I really enjoyed that. And I kept thinking, like, and pardon me if we talked about this last podcast. I don't think that we did. There needs to be a video game where your fighter, your warrior guy, is based on a certain diet. Like,
Right. Right.
keto.
Because you could just be like the ninja guy that's like kicking ass. But if you're keto, like you don't need all the fuel ups, right?
It's completely different, but there's just some things that you can't do.
Right.
Like if you're trying to dig deep and grab another handful, it ain't there. You got what you got.
Right.
You got that low energy power, and you're not going to get up that hill any faster than you can get up that hill. And when you're doing the carb thing, you can find that.
Right.
The problem is it goes away, and then you're in a deep
Yeah, the
hole.
problem with that sugar and carb stuff is once you start, you got to keep going.
Yeah, and finding that balance is hard.
Yeah.
And I am by no way advocating keto over anything else.
Right.
I'm just saying I did it on keto. I didn't eat anything. I took one squeeze of peanut butter, and I took a bite out of a frozen pickle that I ultimately spit out, and the rest was liquid.
Vaughn, was Brad Montgomery on keto when you guys did the Mississippi Trails with me? Because I feel like on that trip somebody said like holy cow, like that goo was like rocket fuel or something like that.
I remember you telling me that about Brad Montgomery.
Because I was on keto.
Yeah, I don't think we
getting
knew what
like the
keto
carb
was
influx or
Yeah.
whatever, just like that was like rocket fuel.
Yeah, I don't think we knew about keto back then. Probably like a low carb thing.
Low carb, high fat. Yeah, probably something like that. Maybe that's
Yeah.
all it was.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Okay.
And then we had some brownies that we swore had some weed in it.
Well, you guys had a whole lot of fun on that race. Like
That was a lot.
There's so many great stories from that
It
race.
was a lot of fun.
That's where Vaughn realized that aid station workers are liars because
Oh,
they
yeah,
always
that's
want to say
right,
it's
yeah.
always downhill.
Yeah.
It's just downhill from here. No, I got to do the same loop 3 more times. It can't be just downhill from here.
Right.
Like, like physically is not possible.
And then
for
there
it
was
to
this
be.
little guy that was like running, and he was like redheaded, and he had this green hat on. It was like a leprechaun. And me and Brian were just laughing for I don't even know why. I was like, here comes that little leprechaun again. Oh, jeez. What was in those brownies?
Do you really think they had weed in
I
them?
mean, I don't know. We were having a really good time.
Yeah.
No, I think they were delirious running 50 miles. I think
Well, Sylamore was a weird experience for sure. Not having Amanda there totally threw me off. I just have I've got all these oddities, man, and I even the eye rolling or
Right.
I just wake up in the morning and it's like I can't get my damn. Where's Amanda to get my thing pinned on here? Or at least hear me tell her that I can't get my thing pinned on here. Or I forgot this. Or what am I going to do in this situation? And her be like, well, just quit worrying about it. That's stupid. When you don't have, as well as anybody.
that was 2018 for me. Like,
And so that's, who am I talking to?
No. And I'm not dismissing. I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Like Like 2018, all of a sudden I'm there,
Yeah.
and I'm just kind of by myself, and it's like, well, shit, I gotta, like, where's my crew person?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Yeah.
usually have my person here that like helps me figure out, or tells me I'm being stupid and just suck it up and figure it out, And so, anyways,
But it was nice. The entire race was run in solitude. They had a wave start. So I started in the
Very
back.
cool.
I was the last place person, and I was all the way last, through the whole time. And I really liked that. I had,
but that's awesome. That
it
you were
was,
just so
it was
consistent.
fun. It was really nice. I kept telling myself if I can just get to the turnaround.
And you did the 50, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And have somebody get me home, then I'll make it. And then I got to the turnaround and I was like, I'm really slow on time, but I'm going to make it. Like there was never a doubt of whether I could keep going. And I was thinking about this as I was running. I was at least making a movement that appeared as if I was trying to make a running motion
Right.
In a forward direction.
in a forward direction. And that says a lot.
You didn't go backwards.
There was
at
no,
all.
This wasn't.
Tunnel
This,
Hill. I
did not have-
wasn't a Tunnel Hill 50-minute mile.
there was not a 47-minute mile to be had. Now there was, a 24-minute mile, 22-minute
Nobody
mile.
mad at you,
but,
man.
yeah,
Nobody's mad at you.
Hey, you went and did it.
it was nice.
Brian and I set our asses at home.
And we came home
All
that
three
night.
of us did.
Yeah,
like,
Ron did
he's
too,
the
yeah.
only finisher from Sylamore.
Well, you set a trend last year, Vaughn, by going home. And so that you showed us it was possible. You're like the person that ran the 4-hour marathon, and then everybody started running 4-hour marathons. You went home after the 50K last year. So
Like
I was-
after the 50K, like you hung out for like 2.2 minutes, and then you got in the car and went home.
Oh,
You were like,
Which-
deuces,
Yep.
gotta go.
peace.
which I was like, that's insane. I wouldn't be able to stay awake. But Melissa, I owe her a million favors in the world, all the respect. She stayed. She could have just bolted.
I couldn't believe it. I thought she went with
She
Kathy and
had-
Gary, and she started texting me. Well, we were texting while she was still running. Bless her. And after she got done, she's like, I'm waiting on Wilson. I was like, are you really? And I was like, oh, that makes me feel so much better that he's going to have somebody with him to drive home with, because I just assumed she'd catch a ride with Gary and
But so
Kathy.
you guys didn't stay Saturday night?
We left Friday. No, we didn't stay Saturday night. We left right after, directly
Left after
from the race.
okay. That's what Dawn did too, and I just assumed everybody else stayed. So
Yeah,
I guess I did do that last year, didn't
you
I?
sure did, all by yourself. I certainly couldn't have done it
there
by
was, There was
myself.
something going on. You were getting back to.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I can't remember.
Father
what
daughter
it
or
was.
something, or maybe I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
Is
you're
that
right.
what it was?
Yep. I think that is what it was.
Something like that.
So during the race, Melissa had a neat experience. She was running. She got thrown off by a couple things. She got thrown off. She's not a heights person. She doesn't like heights. So
Oh.
she had a moment there.
I feel bad. We were supposed to do this together.
And so she was saying that Dan Wolford, who, he's got times to beat. He's a good runner. He likes to run fast.
Sure.
And so she gets slipping on the stairs or something. So Dan sees her having kind of a moment. She's kind of having a breakdown. So Dan's holding her hand with one hand, and with the other hand, he pulls every person up those steps all the way to the back of the line. Lets everybody get in front of him so he can help those people up. Later, Melissa has a moment on the way back with, some of the height issues. And she said she started crying, got down in the fetal position. And these two people coming back from the 50K, like a 6 hour, at like hour 6 in the thing, they both held her hand, started
Wow.
walking, talking to her, where you from, what you do, here's what I do.
Melissa's watching. She says OMG, and she's like, yes. And she's like clapping.
So she found him. We're going to see if we can get him on the podcast. Talk
Yeah,
about it.
Oh,
There you
yay.
go.
That's like trail running at its finest. I mean, this guy's like
that's
talking.
what I-
This guy's
seriously.
talking about a 6 hour and something 50K at Sylamore, and I believe it's his first one. And he had all the reason in the world to be like, I'm not messing with this
Yeah.
emotional stuff.
What's the Tunnel Hill 50-miler lady, Camille? Like, I remember when she set the world record for the 100-miler or whatever it was. 100-miler? Yeah, 100-miler.
Yeah,
It was 100 miles.
And she came by me, and like I was sitting on the side of the trail, and she came to a complete stop to like check on me, like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "I'm taking a moment."
You go have your world record there.
I was
lady.
like, "You go ahead and go."
This is my time.
Like
Personal time out.
I am good. I needed to sit down. I'm okay. And she's like, all right. And I mean, it was probably a 15-second interaction, but she's on a fucking world record pace.
Yeah.
And she took the time to stop and like check on me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that is trail running at its finest.
that was amazing because she was smoking, man.
Yeah, she's hauling ass.
I passed her.
She also took
passed
the
me.
time to point out that I called her man. When I was running, I said, "Good job, man." And she goes, "I'm not a man, I'm a lady." I was like, "Sorry."
Oh,
And I did the same damn thing at Sylamore. I said, "Good job, dude," to some lady. And by the time she had gotten, you can't see. I can't see, especially when it gets cold like that.
Yeah, I mean, you get delirious at some point. Hey, man.
The cold affects my eyes.
It does.
Melissa said that was that guy's first 50K.
That's amazing. I passed Olaf. I passed Olaf.
Did you?
Olaf was coming.
Wait. Olaf was there. Did he win?
He won.
Yeah,
he did.
He won.
Dude, he won by.
Did he win?
He won. I know. What a question.
He was coming back. I can't even explain it. Yeah, I can't explain it. Right at the point where, you're about to enter like a lot of rocks. Like you're about to have to go to the right and kind of, you
I like
really
that
don't
part.
know where the trail is
I love
for a
that part.
second.
That's my
And then
favorite
you kind of
part.
veer into in
Yeah.
between rocks and stuff. So he's coming down at that point. And I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe
Like how many?
where he is.
My mind always goes to how many. I'm trying to calculate like how many miles ahead of me is this
Yes.
person as
Yeah.
they're coming back by me.
I do that too.
What was even more significant was when I was on my way back, and I was like, it's been an entire like afternoon. It has been brunch.
Olaf has
lunch,
showered?
and it's evening time.
It's been 3.5 hours since I saw Olaf at this point.
At least, yes, that's exactly
These guys
what
are
I'm
running
saying.
like 6:30, 7-minute
I don't
miles.
get it, man.
I never understood in the greatest condition how they go that fast on that course.
Yeah.
Especially when it's icy and snowy. These guys were still just going
That first
so
one.
fast, and I'm like, you guys not even worried about falling off the side of this
Hell
mountain?
yeah. The first one that we ran was in the ice and snow. And I'll never forget after you leave, I'm going to get it wrong, Katie. The first aid station,
First aid
Blanchard.
station is
Gunner
Blanchard.
Blanchard.
First aid station.
You know
is
those
Gunner.
huge, like,
Or is,
big
Blanchard
steps
Springs,
that
sorry.
lead
Yeah.
up to the next
Yeah.
section? I was going up, and these dudes straight up ice were,
They're
like,
just-
running, like, flying
They're
down
gone.
the steps. I'm like, how are
I
they
don't-
even...
It's just confidence, you know. They're-
Yeah, at the point that you're at that pace, like you're not at your. So, like I think about the Red Loop at Shelby Forest. Now that you guys have actually done Swamp Stomper, like the Red Loop, like so you're going down the hill, right? Like us going down the hill, if we just don't put on the brakes, that's faster than we've ever gone before, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
you die.
Right. But
Or I
like,
would.
but like Olaf's like, I'm just leaning back a little bit is still not faster than he's ever run before because on a flat road,
But it
he
doesn't
could do a
matter
4-minute
if
mile.
I step on a sheet of ice, my foot can slide out from under me.
You
No
die.
matter if
But
I'm a
I'm
professional
but I'm
athlete
telling you-
or not.
Right.
Science will say my foot can slip out from under me, and I can
Yes.
fall down this mountain, no
Yeah.
matter how awesome in shape I am. It's like they don't even worry about that.
I agree with you that it's a possibility, but I'm telling you that like his foot is touching the ground significantly less amount of time
Right.
than ours is. So the slipperiness just doesn't apply to him as much as it applies to us.
And he doesn't weigh as much as us.
That's that's what I'm getting
Yeah.
at. It's like there's so many other factors that go into it that like if his foot started to slip out from under him, he leans forward a little bit more. Instead of a 6-minute mile, he's doing a 4-minute mile, and he's still comfortable because that's just who he fucking is.
Yeah, I think that probably with an athlete like that, the most dangerous thing for them would be trepidation. The
Right.
second that they start, if they're worried or concerned, then their steps are going to take a little bit longer, and they're going to have that possibility, which they don't typically have because they're so quick-footed. That's my.
I agree with that.
Since I know so much about running, you know, if you want to sign up for my
Especially
class,
fast running.
I teach things
Do a
about
running
the
clinic?
physics,
Especially fast
physics
running.
and velocity.
I think don't you have a course
got a
specifically for
course.
running on ice?
It's
Sprinting.
a 12-week course.
Ice
You can
sprinting.
sign
Do
up.
intervals on ice.
You
The
too.
first thing you got to do is be able to dodge a wrench on ice.
It's actually held at the ice skating rink.
You too can run a 9 hour and 40-minute Sylamore.
There's like a guy running across the ice skating rink and Wilson's throwing shit at him.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge anything.
counting them bills.
Was that a wrench?
Dollar bills, y'all.
You shut up and run.
Oh man. Let me tell you what happened today.
Tell us about it.
All the ice melted?
Not all of the ice melted. It was very slippery outside this morning. I
Yes,
tried to
I
go out
fell.
for a run, and it was deceivingly slick. Like it looked all wet, and there's just the tiniest bit of ice. And I got full out attacked by 2 dogs.
Really?
It was the scariest, probably 15 seconds of my life. Honest to God, probably the scariest 15 seconds of my life.
They thought it was winter. They thought they needed to take down the big bear.
Dude.
They weren't
hibernate.
intimidated by your beard at all.
Not even a little bit. I let go an entire can of pepper spray.
Oh.
The whole.
You
I
carry
was.
stuff with you?
He
I would-
carries
yeah.
pepper spray with him.
Because it's
I'm
not
not-
unusual to run into dogs around here, and it's not unusual to
Be loved by you.
pet a dog with a little quick pepper spray hit,
good one.
and it'll drop them. They'll stop quickly. And before I even knew it, I mean, I could hear them running on the street, clack, 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 and I looked around and was like, "Oh shit!" And this dog was, and so I'm squirting, pepper spray at him, and I'm hitting him, and the other dog's circling around the back, and I'm spinning around, and then they pulled off for a second, and then they came back again, and it was crazy, man. It was intense. It was super intense. I called the police.
Did you?
Yeah.
I had like a little I'm blanking on your dog's name. I'm sorry.
Charlie?
Charlie. I had like a little dog like Charlie come at me one time running.
Yeah.
The only time I've had like an experience on that level was riding a bike, but that dog like kept up with me on the bike.
Yeah.
Like I was seriously scared that he was going to like jump and like hamstring me or something, even on a bike.
Yeah.
But I had a Charlie-sized dog actually bite me at one point. Not the same breed, but just that size of a dog actually come at me and bite me at one point.
So you get past the dogs and you call the police
I called Amanda and asked her to come pick me up.
because you didn't want to run
didn't want
back
to go back
past
the
them.
other
That's
way.
what I was going to ask you if you went back.
Okay, so now I'm getting a bigger picture here. Amanda, did you see the dogs? Did he just not want to finish the run?
There was no
Or-
dogs.
It's funny
It was
because
a trash bag floating across the road.
He just emptied his pepper spray.
He was like 2 miles in. He didn't want to finish the run.
He got down the
squirting
hill.
myself in the face,
He was
dog.
like-
Look at that dog. Look at that dog.
biting my
No,
hand,
it was-
biting my own hand.
It was really a it
I
was
saw
just a
one of
snowman
them.
someone built in the middle
I never
of the
saw
road.
the other one.
Okay.
I saw one of them.
I just wanted clarification there. Sorry.
Well, I wanted to show Amanda what it was like. So I was like, pull over in this church parking lot so I can show you. And I couldn't wait for these things. I was going to get it on video. And so I'm like whistling at him. And then this
Now
dog
you're trying to get him to attack.
dog comes out with his tail tucked, just like looking just pitiful. I'm sure that the pepper spray
And
is
of course, I'm
soaked
like,
in by
oh, look at the dog.
now. And Amanda is subconsciously like taking the dog side.
They live under a trailer. Their life can't be that great.
It's not great. It's not good. In the worst house in this whole area. It's a terrible.
It's pitiful. They're pitiful. Anyway,
So, in all seriousness, did you actually get bit though?
I did not. No.
Okay, good.
No.
Seriously, because that's.
But it
a
was
whole other
flashing
level
through my
concern.
head like what happens from here? I mean, he was within a foot, and heading that direction. This was not like you just got scared of a dog
No, I
screwing
know.
around.
I'm just messing with you.
But I ordered a couple more things of pepper spray. We'll get it. I would have shot him. I would have shot both. If I would have had a gun, and I mean, I like dogs. I would have definitely killed both of these dogs. Well, or I would have shot.
What
them.
happens if
Do you
you
carry
do
it?
that? Like if you shot 2 dogs What do you?
I don't know.
Then what do you do? Do you
And-
just finish your run?
Off.
No.
Holster that sucker. Let's go.
That's a good question.
Oh, so
legally,
off
what
property,
happens?
it's a different. If he was on his property, it's self-defense to some extent or another, right? Like, I mean, I don't know the legal
I don't either.
aspect, but
I don't know. I mean, if you're both off property, I don't know. I mean, it'd be, I guess, your word against
Yeah,
the owner.
Then do you go to the owner and you knock on his door and go, "Hey, man, I just shot your dogs."
well, no, I think legally, if the
I
court
think you
came after
should probably shoot the owner. That way you don't have that.
Just
At that point,
kill everyone.
drag the owner out
That
in
way-
the street.
Knock on the door. Listen,
the
man,
owner's not sad about their dog. They can't testify.
I hate that I have to do this, but I just shot your 2 dogs.
Now,
So really, this means that I have to shoot you and anyone else that's inside your house.
Yeah.
So if you could just gather everyone up.
can you make
bring
me
them
a
out here.
sandwich? Get everybody that's here. I'm out of bullets. You got a gun?
Also, do you have any pickles? It's been a long run.
Never mind, I'll find them after I shoot you.
I'm cramping a little
Well,
bit.
pickle juice will work. Even if the jar's empty, I can still just drink the juice.
Let me tell you about the time I ran an ultra marathon. Person would shoot themselves. Be like, I can't listen to this. I CrossFit. Let me tell you about it.
Papa G says if the dog is off the leash, it's legal.
Okay. Is that? I mean, is
I
Papa
don't-
G
I don't
saying
know.
that's cool with him?
Yeah.
Is that like a real?
I don't know. I'm just telling. He
I
will,
already
he will
knew-
testify for you in court.
I
is what
already
I'm
knew
hearing.
if I shoot a dog, Papa G and I will still be friends. If that dog,
He will
And
represent you.
K-Max just backed up and said leash law. If dogs are off the leash, law's been broken, so
Okay.
you're good to protect yourself.
Okay. At the time, I would not have cared if I would have spent my life in jail. I would have shot
could
this
have
dog if I could have.
Shot them discreetly somewhere where it wasn't seen, and then go get your car and run over them, and just make it look like you hit them.
That's a good idea.
Until they find the bullets when they do the autopsy.
Just make sure it goes through and through.
The dog topsy.
The dog type.
Yeah, we're totally kidding. We love dogs.
That dog could
I
have
love
been,
dogs.
That dog
We
could have
all
been
own
shot.
dogs.
I know.
Like, we love dogs.
Yeah, I should post this in Lift Heavy Run Long. If you put something like that in trail and ultra running site, say something about, what do you think about dogs off a leash or carrying
they go
firearms?
crazy. They go
What do you carry for personal protection? It's a madhouse.
Yeah.
We don't
We don't
go
do
there.
that. We just throw people out.
We don't have those conversations in our group.
We just shoot those people.
We just throw you out, and if you live close to us, we just shoot you.
Right.
And that way you can't use Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
So it's probably for the best anyway. Just gonna
We
go
should-
annoy some other group.
I was just going to go to a whole other level, and I'm not going to do it.
Oh,
Hey, Wilson, what do you want to talk about tonight?
did you have a topic?
Man, I thought we just had topics. What do y'all? You bring me a topic. What
I
do you
don't
want
have
to
a
talk
What
about?
I broke in earlier because you were starting to talk about the snow and stuff like that, and I was thinking you were skipping ahead of Sylamore, and I took you back to Sylamore. So
And
what do you want to talk
Oh, yeah,
about?
snow.
Derailed that whole thing. We've been
What do you want
snowed
to talk
in
about
for the
the
last
snow?
week.
Yeah.
We got like 8 inches of snow.
We got
What's
so
the
much
official
snow.
snowage that we got? What'd
I
y'all
don't
get
know.
in Germantown?
I think we got 8 to 10 inches.
Yeah,
Is
I
my-
would say that.
I didn't go put a ruler in the ground or
I didn't
anything like
either.
that, but
didn't
but I
either,
can
but it
tell
was-
you there's a couple different points where my truck was cleared. I drove somewhere. I was inside for an hour, came back out. There's 1.5 inches of snow on my truck. I cleared it off again to go home. I come back out the next morning. There's 4 new inches of snow on my truck. We got a significant amount of snow the second time. Not
Ooh, that second time came snow. That exactly what you said. There was footprints, and then those footprints were probably 4 or
Well, I
5
thought we
inches.
I'm
did
the
this,
dumbass that cleaned off my back patio so the dogs could get out to the yard to tinkle. And the second time snow came around, you couldn't tell that I did it.
Yeah,
you couldn't even see an indent, where I had it was flat, I hadn't touched the back patio.
I must have said this on Slack because I thought I talked about it on the podcast, but that would have been 2 weeks ago when we didn't have snow. But the guy next door to me, they moved down from up north. They're relatively new. And it snowed so much and covered everyone's driveway. And this kid goes out there, shovels his own driveway. I mean, with this big giant shovel that nobody in the South even owns one of these
Right.
things. I don't even know how he had brought it with him from up north, I guess. does his whole driveway, cleans it pristine, goes across the street to his old man neighbor's house, cleans his driveway pristine, goes to the other next door neighbors. He must have cleaned 4 driveways.
These are the neighbors that when they were moving in had like the 62-hour generator installed or whatever, right?
A generator,
really?
A
It's the
generator
same
the
people.
size of
Before
a-
the snow ever hit, they had a generator
generator
being
the size
installed.
of a railroad car put in their backyard. And so I was like, man, why is he doing that? He's really nice, but I don't know. It's going to snow again
This
tomorrow.
is the South, bro.
Literally the next day it snowed so much it just covered everything back up again. Like you just did all that work, and 24 hours later it's all covered with a massive amount of snow again.
I have not done it, so I don't know for sure. But I would imagine that with the right equipment, a huge snow shoveling a driveway is probably not very much work. I'm not saying that what he did was not a lot of work, but I think that probably moving fresh snow is probably significantly easier than.
I guess.
I can
if you
tell
have
you-
a big giant shovel.
I cleaned about a 1 foot wide path on our patio from the back door to the grass, and the hard part was not the snow; it's the ice that's on the concrete and getting that up. That took twice as much effort as moving the snow did.
But there was ice on the concrete when I didn't know if
in
fresh
my case
snow,
there was.
You could just.
Well, I mean, I didn't do so after the first snow. I'm going to say it was 48 hours later that I finally decided to clean off the patio.
Yeah.
And so it had
This
melted,
guy was out there pretty
refrozen,
early.
melted, refrozen, kind of thing. So
Yeah. As if he was out there early enough to where you think the
Yeah.
old man was probably like, you're going to get out there early before there's ice underneath that snow.
because he's smart.
Because we know how to do that.
Yeah, we know how to do this shit.
Yeah.
We're from the north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I tried to go do mine, and I was like, with my little metal square shovel, and it was all ice. I was like, I can't do this.
So Vaughn, what you do is about August time frame. You call those neighbors over and you say, "This is what air conditioning feels like. We know you're not used to it from the north, but here we are in 99% humidity, and it's 100 degrees outside. Welcome to the South, and this is how we do it. Here's some sweet tea,
Some sweet tea, and I'll fix your air conditioner if it
and I'll
breaks
fix your
again.
air conditioner if it breaks." That's what you got to do.
Enormously large shout out to the Mid-South Jeep Association.
Man,
Club, Jeep Club. Mid-South
Mid-South
Jeep Club.
Jeep Club.
What is
Excuse
that?
me.
I saw this when it was coming together because I got some friends that are a part of it. But go ahead.
They were giving rides to work to hospital workers. They came and picked Amanda up at
That's pretty cool.
6:15 in the morning. Had another hospital worker with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep, they were awesome. They took people. I saw on their website when I asked for a ride all over, all hospitals, even into Memphis. They were taking people in, bringing them
Yeah, it was
home,
like-
all hours of the day. They were taking night
Millington.
shift, morning shift.
Wow.
Yeah.
Millington, Memphis, like Lakeland, Cordova, Collierville, like wherever you lived, they were willing to come get because they've got the big knobby tires, and
Yep.
so they're.
Oh, they have to love it. I mean,
Oh, they do.
They
Well,
have,
but
they
it's
pay for those toys.
right.
and they
But
finally
but
get
this
to
is
use
like them giving back kind of thing. Like it's we just have this toy sitting around and we're not using it right now, so let's go do the nice thing for the people that can't.
Yeah. And saying they have to love it is not taking away from the fact
right,
that they're
right.
inconveniencing themselves by going and picking someone else up instead of just doing whatever the hell they want to. But they responded to Amanda like
Yeah.
that.
Yep. I don't think it was 2 minutes after I posted they were on there. And I was worried because there was already 800 comments. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of people asking, and
There's that-
it's like boom.
I'll tell you, I want to say it was 2018, late summer, early fall. I think the Mid-South Jeep Club or whatever was doing a St. Jude ride, and they came down by my condo downtown. I was stuck in my condo for 2 hours while they drove by,
Whoa.
and they were driving
Really?
on average about 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But the caravan or whatever you want to call it was that long.
No kidding. Wow. A lot of Jeeps.
Like that club is significant.
They wouldn't take money. They wouldn't take stuff from
Really?
us. Yep.
Wow.
So
That's pretty neat.
We're trying to get together a big thank you and pay them back somehow. We're asking if they can have open a GoFundMe account or something for us to all the healthcare workers just to put into.
We just need to figure out if they do a gathering like they have their barbecue or whatever, and figure out how to cater it or show up with cases of beer or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever's appropriate, something like that. Katie says that group doesn't get enough credit for the good they do in general.
Are they pretty active all the way around?
I believe so,
Yeah.
but I don't. My two experiences are them doing that St. Jude caravan thing, and then what you and Amanda were talking about.
I remember a guy had a Mid-South Jeep Club sticker on his front windshield of his car. I got my Jeep on his Jeep, and I got my Jeep stuck in high school, and I was stuck in a hole. The water and the hole was deep enough to where my tailpipe was under the water, so it was just percolating up. And so, what little I know is if that motor stops and the water goes backwards, I'm screwed. So I'm panicking. Me and my buddy have made a mistake. We thought we were going to be fine. We just went, yeehawing, and some guy winched us out. And I remember telling him I'd buy him some cans of dip or something. But I'll never forget that Mid-South Jeep Club on his window and him being happy, because he got to get his stuff all muddy and crappy and winch me out.
But like you said, that's what they love to do. That's them using their toys. Right?
When I was riding in with Michael, the guy that took me, as we were getting on the ramp onto 78, across the exit ramp to get off on our road, there was an 18-wheeler and there was a Jeep with a winch pulling the 18-wheeler.
Holy cow. That's
We
awesome.
were all like, what? Oh my God. He's like, sometimes it just takes enough for our little Jeeps to pull or tug to get somebody moved to where they can move. He goes, he can't pull him, but he was trying to help that guy get some traction. Because, it was ice on those roads. So, yeah, they helped me through the hardest part of it. And I have to give shout out to my boss because I was going to stay the night at the hospital that day. I got a ride with him, and she took me home with her for the night. And, her husband has a 4-wheel drive, and they took me back the next day. But other than that, I was able to make it myself the other day. It's just had to park down at the end of the driveway because we couldn't make it up our drive.
It's so funny. So the city of Memphis has had enough water mains bust that they have this boil water order in place right now. So their initial thing, last Friday, was basically all restaurants have to shut down. And of course, the restaurants got upset about that. We can boil water, this is stupid. Why can't we be open if we can? And so the thing was, if you're willing to boil your water, then you can stay open. And so, I saw, the official rule is, they have to boil all their water for 3 minutes, boiling for 3 minutes, and then it's usable for whatever they want to use it for. Fast forward to last night, I'm on my way to family dinner, and we decided we're going to do KFC. So we go to the KFC in Cordova, and there's not many restaurants open in the city of Memphis because they're not willing to boil their water. But fast food restaurant being what it is, so long ass line. I guarantee you, we waited 45 minutes to get to the point of being able to order food.
Holy cow!
And I'm ordering a $30 fill-up bucket, which is chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy and coleslaw and biscuits. And they're like, yeah, we ain't got mashed potatoes and gravy because of the boil water order. And I was like, that makes sense. You can't make your instant mashed potatoes. And you can't make your instant gravy. I'm not even mad at you. And then I was a little annoyed at the time because
don't you have to boil water to make the instant mashed potatoes?
But
Right.
Do you want to trust? And I'm sorry, I'm being very judgy here. Do you want to trust a fast food employee to put a timer on boiling that water for 3 minutes before they start making whatever they're supposed to make with that boiled water?
I'm willing to take the risk all day long. Yeah, I'd be fine with it.
Huh.
We'd probably survive, and we'd probably love it.
I think the little bad water is probably the best of worst scenarios that could come out of a KFC. or any fast food
You
chain.
you aren't wrong. You aren't wrong. You know what? When you put it in that perspective, you're absolutely right. That's
Just get my water a little hot. I'll go home and put them in the microwave. How's that work?
So, anyways, that was just funny. But
Meanwhile, all of our restaurants are open here in Mississippi, and everyone was coming over here to eat.
Yeah.
well, and Collierville and Germantown and Bartlett and Millington have their own water supplies. And so that's effectively what all of Memphis did is they went
Everywhere else.
outside of the city limits
Yeah.
to eat. And
This is going to be one of the more ignorant questions that I've asked on this podcast, which is saying a lot. 200 episodes of ignorant questions.
Let's go.
That supply of water that you're referring to, is that the water that's in the water towers?
no, it's it all comes from the aquifers, but
Okay.
and this is not from a place of intelligence. It's a place of vague understanding. So I'll say that up front. But the city of Memphis, so the city of Memphis water supply is different than the Germantown, Collierville, Bartlett, Millington, right? They have their own water pumps that go into the same aquifer. The problem is that every pipe that comes into your house has pressure up to that pipe. And if all of a sudden they let that pressure off, then potential sewage and other backfill can come into that water. So that's why they keep whatever level of pressure they have to keep on all
Yeah.
the pipes all the time. Well, when you get enough water mains broken, they can't maintain that pressure across the city. And so they're not sure what kind of contaminants are going to backflow into it. But Germantown, Olive Branch, Hernando, wherever, they all have their own water supplies. And so they're maintaining their own pressure
Got it.
so that the contaminants can't come
What
in.
are the water towers for?
That's
water-
my question. I think that they're for water pressure. Are they not for
that's why
for
they're up in the
regulation
tower.
of water pressure?
So that
is
the-
that right? Is that accurate?
Well,
I mean, that's not like a reserve of water that
I believe it's a
It's a
reserve of
reserve.
water.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
so-
reserved because we have a deal. When we built the hospital, we split the water reserve with Olive Branch, the city of Olive Branch.
Okay.
And that's partly hospital water and partly to supply.
And that's
Olive
because
Branch.
if the pump that goes into the aquifer blows up or dies or whatever, like we're not without power, or we're not without water. Sorry, but that's not going to. Those water towers are not going to supply the city for days.
Yeah,
it's
right.
like, this
But that's
is
not
like
the main water
emergency room.
supply in that water tower. They're just sitting there just in case.
Right.
All right.
I mean, the original water towers used to have open tops where they were actually catching rainwater.
Did you really? Wow.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that post by Rebecca Hicks in the Lift Heavy Run Long community about that lady gallops like a horse? Like all
I've
the
seen that
time?
somewhere else.
Is that the wildest thing?
didn't-
you've
I
ever
didn't
Is this
see
like
it.
Prancer size?
It's
it like
this
Prancer
person
size?
gallops. She looks like a monkey. This is how she moves around.
I'm
I have
like,
not seen
She
that.
jumps over stuff.
Is she like not like? Is it bad for us laughing at her?
No,
Or, like-
it's the way. It's a lifestyle. Apparently, her whole family does it.
They identify.
Does she-
Raj
does
Ahmed says that her whole family moves around like
Does she have
that.
like a stick horse in between your legs?
She is the horse.
So
You got to see it. It's the weirdest. She's really good at it. Have you ever tried to bear crawl?
yeah,
That's hard. She does that like
She does it on all fours.
yes.
But she
that's how
keeps
she
her,
moves
she's
around.
on her feet, and so it's awkward because obviously she's at a slant with her butt up in the air, but she gallops.
a baby would tell you walking on 2 feet's weird.
So her,
You know,
wait,
it's,
wait,
it's,
wait, wait.
it's just
So
something.
she's
It's
like-
just something you practiced over time, right?
Which baby?
Like,
So she's galloping. She's on all fours.
Yes.
And she can like run, full out run like
and she
that.
like runs races this way.
No.
I think she lives her life this way. Now, I'm basing that on like 30 seconds of video with no sound or noise, but I've confirmed that in my head.
I'm
as
gonna have to
being
go
fact.
look at this.
so back to the water tower thing, real quick. Either my girlfriend's really smart, or she Googled this and then pasted it. in
Oh,
the
she
answer.
totally copy and pasted.
It says
that.
a water tower is an elevated building supporting a water tank constructed at a height sufficient to pressurize a water distribution system for the distribution of potable water and to provide emergency storage for fire protection. I think my girlfriend's smart.
I think she just came up with that off the top of her head. that was. Can you read that again?
No.
So I think it's really cool. I may have talked about this in another podcast, but I didn't realize all like the planning that goes behind like potential like destruction
Oh my gosh.
of cities. I mean, our
Well, I
hospital,
was-
we have
yeah.
training. I'm on a decon team, and I'm on I can't remember the other team. Anyway, so like basically we get everything set up. We get out the walkie-talkies and everything with security, and we'll say earthquake took out Memphis.
Right.
Gone. Everybody's coming to our hospital. We're still standing, which in true life we would not be standing. We'd be in the gorge with Memphis. And so we run through these scenarios, and they bust in people that have cards hanging around their necks and everything, and we have to triage everybody and do all this stuff. And
Nice.
It's good though, because then when it actually happens, your just muscle memory kicks in, and you're not having to. You're not in a freak out moment.
I remember
Yeah.
when I was a kid, my dad used to do that at the airport because he worked at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And they would have like mock plane crashes, and people would be lying around out on the runways with like cards on their necks,
Yeah.
and like he was like talking to me about like walk up to a guy and look at his card, and he's like,
Yeah.
my leg's missing, like what It's
yeah, we had
pretty
like
wild.
we had decon teams, so we have to like run these people through. We have to set up our outside portable showers, and we hook our water system up, and we actually like pull stretchers through, and we scrub. We're all like covered in all of our protective stuff, and we've got scrubbers, and we're scrubbing these people, pushing them through, and these people volunteer for this stuff. It's crazy. But we have a deal with like Kroger to help supply the hospital with food if this ever happened. And I mean, it's a whole big thing. It's crazy. I just never thought
Yeah,
about
it's wild.
cities like making plans for stuff like this.
But,
But they do.
but it's good, right? Like,
Yeah,
in
it's
the
really
grand scheme
cool.
of,
Oh, yeah.
Like, you'd
I
rather
was,
be over-prepared than under-prepared for some kind of a disaster.
We were driving down Goodman Road after all the snow quit, and there were these giant snow plows driving down Goodman Road, scraping the snow off the ground. And I told Holly, I was like, who owns those trucks? Like, does South Haven own them? Because they only get used.
The city or county
Like, the last
does.
time they used them was probably 5 years ago, And then those are expensive trucks, I would imagine.
That's why the city of Memphis only
know?
owns like 5 of them,
yeah.
because they are so
I thought
expensive, and we
the
use them so rarely.
City of South Haven probably rented them from somebody or something.
I'm
know,
just
like-
glad there's people that are anal enough and organized enough to think like that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, in my head, I'd just be like, let's not mess with that. It'll be fine. Like, there's not going to be an earthquake. And then an earthquake hits, and thank God there's people who, like, go through those
I
exercises.
mean, we go to classes, we go to training, BDLS and ADLS and stuff like that. And I mean, it's just crazy the things that we go through in those training sessions. And then we come back, and then we do all those mock things a few times a year.
Yeah, as a IT consultant, one of the things that I always went into a new customer with was like disaster recovery type stuff, and so it's like, and we're never thinking like extreme stuff, but it's effectively what is 1 hour of downtime of all your computer systems being down cost your company, and they'd give us a number. What's 24 hours of downtime cost your company? What's 1 week of downtime cost your company? And like through that, we'd figure out some kind of an average of like what they should spend on their disaster recovery solution type thing.
Uh,
But it's always too expensive.
Well, it depends on the company, but usually it's easy to sell when you put it in that perspective.
Right.
When I say to when I say to Wilson, like, oh, what's an hour of downtime cost Gardner Shadow?
probably
Like-
cheaper than having it run most days.
And
We
so-
would actually prefer that.
We make more money when we stay in bed.
But so there are companies where it's not the case, but like the company I work for now, an hour of downtime doesn't cost us a lot of money. 24 hours of downtime doesn't cost us a lot of money, but a week of downtime costs us a significant amount of money. And because there are things that there's nothing so timely that it has to happen within an hour, or so timely that it has to happen within 24 hours. But there are things that are very timely that have to happen within 5 business days.
Yeah. Right.
And so we have allocated, we have processes, procedures, and stuff in place so that there's no way we'll be down for 5 days. And the pandemic proved us strong, and we had to change some things. But there's also things that are beyond our control. But anyways, there are people in the government that get paid to do that. Like, that's her whole job, is to figure out, like, what kind of disaster do we need to prepare for, and are we prepared for it, and
Yeah.
what things do we need to have in place so that you don't have to think about it.
That is wonderful. We are out of time.
I'll shut
Lift
up.
Heavy Run
I'll shut
Long
up now.
podcast
Number 201.
201 on the cutting edge of water towers and disaster relief
That's right.
recovery
You will
acts.
not find more intriguing content.
If you want information about the weather,
On training. Oh wait, no, never mind.
water towers,
lifting weight. Oh,
If you want more
No,
information
no,
on water
not that.
towers,
Stop.
contacts
Gaining weight?
Katie Maxwell.
anybody want to gain weight
if you want to get fat and miss cutoff,
and know how to
contact
eat
me
pickles and
at
cheese and chicken wings?
Lift Heavy Run Long number 201 is in the books.
Peace.